Today we will see how we can create high quality reels like Natt in Capcut. You guys have been enjoying my last few tutorials, so in this video we are going to level up by learning professional techniques while editing this short. Let's get started. For your understanding, I have broken this video down into 3 parts. Make sure to watch it till the end so that you become an expert in the game of content creation. First things first, I am going to drag the main clip to the timeline. You will find all these resources in the description as well as on the WhatsApp channel. Then let's just resize it. The first animation is going to last till here. So I'm going to take a text layer, just click on text, drag the default layer over here and expand it. I'm just going to write saddest part of. I'm going to use the font as Sovereign. This is a premium font, so I'm going to add the link of this in the description as well. And keep it something like this. Let's give it a shadow. Scroll down a bit. To increase the depth of the shadow, you can just increase the distance and keep it around 15. Next, let's give it an animation. In animation, I'm going to use fold. Next, let's just add the second text. Again, click on the text, press Alt, and you can drag it up. Otherwise, you can also do copy paste. Simply Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Once you make a copy, drag this down, go to basic and write your life. To increase this, either you can increase the font over here or you can just simply drag it from the end. If I zoom in, I can see it properly. Let's give it a typewriter effect and increase the duration to around 1 second. Next, again we go to basic and we change the color to red. Next, we need to add a line over here below the text. Simply go to stickers, search for line, I'm going to use this one. So I'll just drag it over here, properly align it. So now if you go to animations, you won't find a wipe in effect for the sticker. We'll need to do masking for the same. In order to do that, we'll need to convert this into a compound clip. So there are 2 ways for that. One is you just simply right click and click on create compound clip. The other is, if you see over here, they have also given you the shortcut key. The shortcut key is Alt plus G. So I'm just going to click on this again and press Alt plus G. So it has been converted into a compound clip. Next, I click on mask, go to horizontal mask and rotate this. Next, I go to the start. It's always better to give a little bit of feather. Firstly, make sure that the playhead is at the start of the clip. I'm just going to adjust this a bit. Now go to the top and add a keyframe. Next, go 4 frames ahead. Add another keyframe and drag it till the end. If you see now, what I made sure is that your life and this animation is ending at the same time so that it looks as if it is in sync. Now let's give effects to his face and also remove the background. So I'm just going to simply drag it up by clicking Alt and keep it over here. Click on the clip, go to cutout and press on auto cutout. If you click on the below clip now and press V, you will see that the background is vanished, and this has happened throughout the clip. So our auto cutout is working fine. Again click on the clip and press V. Next, click on the About tab, go to adjustments. You can increase the brightness a bit, decrease the blacks and increase some sharpness. It can be around 10. Also, if you want to smoothen the skin of the subject or the speaker, again come back to video and click on enhance. In enhance, you have multiple options. I'm just going to click on face and increase the smooth to 40. Let's now add the face of the child over here. I'm just going to drag this photo to the timeline. Again go to cutout and click on auto cutout. This will remove all the background. Next, I want to crop it. For cropping, simply click on crop ratio. I'm just going to keep this much. we need to grayscale it. So I'm just going to go to adjustment, scroll down a bit. In saturation, make it -50. Let's decrease the shadow as well as the black. Next, we need to add a background in the back of the girl, as well as we need to add a vignette effect on the sides. What this does is that it adds more focus on the subject. I will show you how. Click on media, go to library, and you can drag this clip over here. Next, simply right click, go to edit, and click on freeze frame. This will give you a still image. Delete the rest of them and to drag this to start and expand this. We have our black background, just simply rotate it and expand it. Next, go back to video. In mask, you should add a rectangle mask. Increase this and then click on reverse. This will reverse the mask. And then you can add a feather. So the feather can be around 10. If you see, we now have a vignette effect on the sides. Let's now add a black background. Simply take a copy of this and drag it up. Again, go to mask. Instead of rectangle, click on horizontal mask. Rotate this, drag this down, and then you can increase the feather. Go to basic and click on layer 2. If you feel that it is a hassle to work with the layers, simply click over here, go to modify, and in modify, just click on free layer and then save the project. If you see now, we have got a background to the image which is also properly merging with the main clip. Now let's hide the smile with a tape. I'm just going to use this one and drag it on the top. I'm going to increase the length of this clip and bring it over here and increase this. Now let's animate this. Click on the background, go to animations and click on slide up. And for the child and the tape, we need to give it a right animation. Just click on slide right. As well as for this, click on slide right. Next we have the hand, which will come from the bottom, hold the tape and then pull it down, revealing the smile. Let's see how we can do that. Actually, I have one hand in red. I'm just going to drag that to a timeline. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's hear the clip once.
Correlation between age and happiness is a smile.
Age and happiness. So when he is saying age, it can pop in from the bottom. So we need to play with keyframes over here. First, this will be outside the screen. So it can be over here. Go to keyframe. I'm just going to keep it to the start. Go a little ahead. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Add another keyframe and bring this up. Once it holds the depth, then we need to keep it there for a millisecond and then drag it down to the right. So I'm again going to come over here, add another keyframe, but we don't do anything over here. But we need to add a keyframe to the tape. So click on the duct tape and add a keyframe. Next, again go to the top. Go till the end of the clip. Add another keyframe and drag the hand down. Let's do the same to the tape. Click on the tape. Increase the duration of the tape. Click on the keyframe. So if you see this now, the hand comes, it holds it for a second, and then it drags it down. Let's see this once.
The correlation between age and happiness is a smile. So
we want the first element to end when he says smile. So I'm just going to make the necessary adjustments. Drag it little to the left. Same thing with the duct tape. Make sure that this keyframe and the above keyframe are in sync. If not, we can make necessary changes. Before we go to the next screen, we need to drag all these elements out. In order to do that, we just need to give an out animation. Click on animation, in out. I'm just going to do fade out. For the girl, we can give out animation of fade out. Same thing we can do for this. We can do the same thing for the line. In animation, go to out and click on fade out.
The correlation between age and happiness is a smile.
So we are done with the first part. Now let's tackle subtitles. Just click on text. In auto captions, select the language. For us, it's English. And click on generate. It takes hardly a few seconds for Capcut to generate it. We don't want any subtitles over here, so I'm just going to click on it and delete it. Make sure that you don't keep more than 2 to 3 words in one shot. In text, I'm just going to use the same font and increase it to around 15. Next, I want to give it a shadow and bring it little up. Now let's work on part 2. In this, we have a grid which is coming from the top. I'll just add the grid to the timeline, rotate it, and fill the entire screen. Next, go to adjustments, decrease the saturation as well as decrease the brightness. Keep it -40. Next, go to adjustments, scroll down. In vignette, increase the vignette. You can keep it around 20. This will give a shadow to the background. This grid should come from the top. To add that, bring the playhead to the start. Take this grid up. Add a keyframe. Then take the playhead to the right. Add another keyframe and just simply bring it down. You can adjust the clip a bit. It's happening very fast. If we want this to happen smoothly, we need to add an easing effect to this. Simply click a right click and click on show keyframe animations. You also have the shortcut for this, which is Alt+K. In Y, click on the keyframe and click on auto curve. Close the animation and see the clip now. Now let's add all the icons. First we have the bear, then Star Wars. Drag this down, reduce the size a bit. Go to animations. You need to have a grayscale effect. So decrease saturation. You can increase the brightness a bit and reduce the blacks. The animation should look as if it is coming from this side of the screen to the left. Just click on animation. In animation, click on slide left. Next we need to add a wobble effect or shake effect on this, so it looks as if it is moving once it is on the screen. Just click on effects. Drag play pendulum on the top of the clip. Decrease the strength to around 10. You can decrease the twist as well and the sharpness. You can keep the feed as 40. Next we have the Star Wars. Just drag this to the timeline. Let's do quickly the same thing for this. Decrease the saturation, increase the brightness. Again going to effects. Add play pendulum on top. Decrease the strength as well as the twist. And sharpness can be around 20. I'm going to quickly do this for 2 more things. Oh, also before I forget, we need to add an in animation for this. We're going to do slide right. Rotate this one. Decrease the size. I'm going to reduce the saturation, increase the brightness. In effects, just going to quickly repeat the same thing. For the college football, I have the entire image. So I'm just going to go to cutout and remove the background. Increase this. Go to crop ratio. Only going to keep the hand. Click on confirm. Adjustments, same thing again. Animation, in animation it should be slide up. And in effects, we need to add play pendulum to it. Let's see this once.
25 is beer, Star Wars, making out, college football, 0 to 20.
Wow, this really looks awesome. Now to just give it a finishing touch, we'll add the sunburst below all the icons. I'm just going to drag it here and trim it a bit. In animation, I'm going to give it a zoom in animation. Once it zooms in, we need to make sure that it is behind all the elements as well as it is rotating. I can just simply drag it here below all the clips. Now click on the clip, go to basic. In position and size, click on the keyframe, then go till the end of the clip, add another keyframe. In rotate, now you rotate this to around 200. Let's see this once and then we can adjust if we find that the rotation is too fast.
Is beer, Star Wars, making out, college football, 0 to 25.
I do feel that it is too fast. So again, I'm going to click on the last keyframe and instead of 210, let's keep it around 150. Let's see this once. Okay, this looks much better. While we are going to end this part, we need to make sure in the third part, Scott is popping up from the background into the screen. So for that, let's do one thing. Let's increase the duration of all these clips by a bit. Then select all of them. You can select them by pressing Ctrl, right click and create a compound clip. When you click on the below clip, cut it somewhere around here and drag it above this clip. And for this clip, again go to animation and give it a slide up effect. And for our main effect, which we just grouped, in out animation, give it a fade out. So if you see this now,
Football, 0 to 25 is usually pretty happy.
okay, this looks good. Now I'm again going to adjust the subtitles. Click on captions. Let's see this. We also need to add the black gradient over here. I'm just going to drag the same one which we had created and drag it on the top. Let's continue with our subtitles. Over here, when he's emphasizing on a point, as the sheet gets real, I want his face to be zoomed in. So we are going to make two cuts in this clip as well as in our main clip. Then come back to the above clip. In basic, position and size, add a keyframe. Take the playhead to the right, add another keyframe and then increase the size. So I kept it around 386. Let's do the same thing for this clip. Take the playhead to the start, add a keyframe. I have added this keyframe over here. I will do the same thing over here. Add another keyframe and this was 386. I'm just going to simply type 386 over here. This will make sure that both the clips, as the background as well as the clip where we have removed the background, are in sync. So it's working fine. Now coming to the last part, let's add the grid background again. In animation, in animation, click on slide down. Okay, now let's add the elements one by one. First we have this image. In adjustment, let's decrease the saturation, add a brightness a bit, go to the start and increase the size. Zoom out the image completely, then again go to basic. Add a keyframe to position and size. Take the playhead little to the right. Add another keyframe. And then you can make it small. We want it to be here for a second and then again go out of the screen. So I'm just going to add another keyframe over here by taking the playhead little to the right. Again go to the right around 20 frames. Add another keyframe and drag it completely out. I'm going to trim the clip till the last keyframe, and in animation just simply go to out and click on fade out. So now if you see, in next clip we have a guy sitting on a chair holding his head. Just drag it over here. Drag this clip below. In animation, add slide up. Again, let's go to adjustments. Decrease the saturation. Decrease the brightness a bit. You need to add the star on his background. Decrease the size of the clip. Bring it below his head. Even for this, the animation is going to be slide up initially. And then we can go again to the video and add a keyframe to position and size. Go till the end of the clip. Add another keyframe and we can keep the rotate at around 90. Let's see this once.
You have kids, you have economic stress, someone you love.
I still feel that the starburst is moving little fast. So again, I'm going to click on the keyframe. In position and sizing, instead of 90, let's make it 60. Okay, this is better. Now let's give out animation to both the clips. In animation, in out, slide left. Same thing for this clip. Now we need to add a hospital background. Make it full screen. Trim it down till the end. Okay, let me resize it a bit. Keep it like this. And then we need to make it blur. Click on effects. Add blur to the clip. And decrease it to around 6. Next, click on the clip. Go to adjustments. And decrease the saturation. It can be around -40. Now let's add the last two images. We have the lady. She can be over here. Increase the size. In animation, in animation, let's give it a slide up effect. Trim the clip. In adjustments, let's decrease the saturation and let's play with the lightness effects. Give it a shadow. I'm going to sharpen the image. Keep it around 30. Let's add an in effect to the background as well. Go to animations. In animation, select slide left. When he says sick, we can add a mask on her face. Just click on stickers, right stroke. I want to add this one. Decrease the size. Then do right click and convert it as a compound clip. In animation, let's give it a fade in animation. We had a lady behind a sick person, so I'm just going to drag her over here. Go to adjustments. In basic, decrease the saturation and decrease the blacks. She can come from the left, so that in animation, select on slide left.
You have kids, you have economic stress, someone you love a great deal gets sick and dies.
I'm not happy with this line, so instead I'm going to add a different element. So I'll just delete this and add this one instead. Do right click and create it as a compound clip. Go to adjustments, increase the temperature to 42. Then go to animations and we can add it as a fade in animation.
The correlation between age and happiness is a smile. So 0 to kind of 25 is beer, Star Wars, making out, college football. 0 to 25 is usually pretty happy. 25 to 45 is what I call the shit gets real years. You have kids, you have economic stress. Someone you love a great deal gets sick and dies.
Okay, this looks really great. Now to add the final cherry on the top, let's add the sound effects and make it complete. First, let's add the typewriter effect. I'm just going to drag it to a timeline. Decrease the duration. Zoom in a bit. Decrease the volume a bit.
The correlation between...
Okay, this looks good. Next, let's add a whoosh effect over here. When we drag the tape below, go to audio. In sound effects, let's add the dip whoosh. I'm going to go to speed and increase the times.
Age and happiness is a...
Decrease the duration again.
Age and happiness is a smile. So 0...
Let's add a swish effect when we have the elements coming in over here.
is beer, Star Wars, making out, college football.
Again, when he's popping in the screen, let's add a swish effect. I'm going to keep the volume as around -12 so that it gives a very subtle effect.
0 to 25 is usually pretty happy.
And lastly, when we see the baby coming in the screen, let's add a baby crying effect over here. Just write baby crying. I'm just going to drag this clip below and trim it a bit. Okay, this is fine. I'm going to delete the rest and then decrease the volume a bit. Keep it -16. Okay, let's see this once from the start.
The correlation between age and happiness is a smile. So 0 to kind of 25 is beer, Star Wars, making out, college football. 0 to 25 is usually pretty happy. 25 to 45 is what I call the shit gets real years. You have kids, you have economic stress. Someone you love a great deal gets sick and dies.
Thank you guys for watching the video. If you want to learn how to edit like pro creators, make sure to check this playlist.